Let's see when we are really live. So exciting to be again on LinkedIn here. And it's a beautiful day here in Munich. I hope you all have a wonderful day as well. So welcome everybody. You are either watching this live on a LinkedIn live, or you're listening to it or watching a recording. So welcome to today's session. I'm very pleased to have another lean leader with me today, a great speaker. She is with Volvo, but Erika, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and then we will dive into what people can learn from you.
Yes, thank you, Kirsten. I'm really happy to be here. Yes, as you said, I'm working in Volvo Construction Equipment. To be more specific, we are producing big yellow machines that you see on construction sites, and I have been working with Volvo for 2.5 years now, I think, and I have a background in. I studied mathematics, and I have worked in several different areas. Started out in IT, of course. Have worked a lot with IT, but also with finance and production and engineering. I've worked in different areas like medtech and in the defense industry, and also in a couple of governmental agencies here in Sweden.
Yeah, so it's interesting how you bring kind of like that breadth of experience to the table here, and I think if we look at kind of like your topic that you will talk about at the Lean Leader Summit, it's about enterprise architecture, but it's also about finding like all the people, getting them to know about EA, and with that bringing value to the table. And how did you come up with kind of like that topic, and what kind of like do you think is maybe one of the key aspects that people will learn when they come to kind of like your session?
Yeah, what I'm hoping for is to actually tell people what we could benefit from enterprise architecture, and that might be different things depending on how the business looks. But by the history I have working with a lot of companies and businesses that has a lot of legacy, and that legacy has sometimes is connected to a lot of mechanical system engineering structures, and going into the modern world where mechanical stuff meets IT and information technologies, where we also quite often use agile, which is a complete other way of working. And when these two worlds meet, it becomes really complex. And not people, but businesses start to build more and more complex system or information streams, and I want to lift the view of enterprise architecture, like being the cure against that, having the bigger picture, looking at less complex structures and be more efficient.
I think efficiency is a key part to have also room for the important parts. So it's something with you, if you're efficient in your kind of like baseline, then you can have like more capacity for also innovation or discussing with people how to bring or drive the business forward.
Yeah.
How much do you see that? Because from my experience, the drive for efficiency is kind of like it's good, but you also need to do or work on the capacity that is then free to do kind of like the innovation and the
Absolutely.
other
Yeah.
like kind of like more forward-looking, more strategic aspects. How do you go about kind of like balancing those two kind of like aspects? Because if you're kind of like efficiency focused, you're kind of like it's a different mindset and a different focus than if you focus on kind of like the innovation and strategic.
Yes, yes, you're quite right. Because and that is something that I have been working with before also. And when you look at product, today I'm working with the product and machine lifecycle and the product data management. And when we talk about products in this, there is often, I don't say always, but often there is an innovation that are separated from the product structure. I really want to connect these two, like you have innovation and you start with a product number and then you fail, and then you take a new product number and then you fail. Then you will build up some knowledge about this, and you will celebrate the failures, because then you also save those and you can learn from them. So it's definitely two different mindsets of elaborating, taking free mind journeys. I don't know how to say that, but you also want to save the results, even though they were failures, because the next time you're developing the same item, you want to have a kind of a library to go to. What did we do the last time? What did we fail with? So we don't do the same failures over and over again. So that is just, so there is efficiency in innovation, and there is innovation mindset, and there is efficiency and productivity, and so there is different kinds of effectivity in this, I think.
No, I think you're hitting a valid and good point there, and it's something where the we can kind of like get stuck in one or the other, but I think it's really the combination that is so key for success. And if we look at kind of like your upcoming session, so just like maybe also for the audience, so we do have the Lean Leader Summit coming up in July in Munich. So if you haven't signed up for that yet, then come and you can see Erika and myself live on stage in Munich. And if we kind of like look at your session, which is really kind of like on the core of enterprise architecture,
Yes.
you also do have things in there like how to manage kind of like your EA, and for me it kind of like looks at kind of like make your homework in the EA space. What is kind of like a key aspect there that you think every enterprise architect will take away from your session?
I hope that I both will reach both enterprise architects and also IT leaders, because I think we need to know the benefits of doing a good enterprise architecture work. I think that is less complexity and more profit if we do it right. So that is the main message that I want to share. If we do this right, this is what you should expect of enterprise architecture.
I think this is a very strong message that I really like, because it's kind of like the why, but you need the why of enterprise architecture not just for the internal team, but how you phrased it also, like, hey, for IT leaders or leaders in general, like in the organization out there, they need to know and understand why enterprise architecture is in place and what value it can deliver. And if you kind of like have that why known externally as well as internally from an EA perspective, then it's kind of like sets the direction for everybody to engage with and deliver that. So I think it's a very, very strong linchpin point that kind of like we very often forget, because we're kind of like very often in the what and the how kind of like activities, we're hung up, and we sometimes miss that why.
Yeah, and it's also a reminder of why we work together and why we need to align on things and why we need to, not go with my solution or with the things that I created. We have to look beyond that and be the we in the architecture.
Oh, no, good point. Thanks, Erika. The possibility, of course, is at the conference to ask questions, but also if you watch to this now and want to kind of like get to know from Erika how she kind of like drives enterprise architecture at Volvo, then please feel free to put your question here in LinkedIn. If you're watching this as a recording, feel free to still ask a question here, because we might be able to answer them afterwards, because we're both on LinkedIn and monitoring this here. So that's just for that. While we wait on a potential question coming in, what do you feel, or what do you, when you go to conferences like the Lean Leader Summit, what is something that you enjoy there, and why do you go to events? What is kind of like a key benefit for you there?
I like to listen and get new ideas, and when you see people or businesses that have the same challenges and the solutions that they have brought into their business, I think that is really nice when you hit something that is, oh, we have exactly the same. We might not have the possibility to solve it like that, but maybe it could. So you have those discussions, and what was hard with this, what was easy, meeting people and discussing and sharing. I think that is the benefit of this.
Great. Yeah, what I always love is also like the opportunity to ask a speaker, either kind of like at the end of the session, but also kind of like in one of the breaks, something more concrete for your own kind of like organization or parts, where you can like say, hey, I'm in this situation, and you kind of like had the great guidance of like, how can I promote the value of EA and things like that, but how do I make that with this problem, or have you come across a similar problem, and how did you solve it? So it's something where the discussing and sharing and getting some also more personalized nuggets out of the speakers is something. All right, we actually do have a question also coming in from the audience. So Bia is asking, Erika, what is a picture you use representing EA?
Yeah, if I understand this right, then maybe we could help each other out a bit. But we're often discussing, the role of enterprise architecture. Some have it on IT, some have it in, I see enterprise architecture as connecting the different puzzle pieces, because we have, for sure, IT, and I am working in the IT department. But we also have architects doing the platforms, doing the electricity, doing the embedded software, doing all the mechanical stuff. So all of those architectures need to align to, as we have, when you have a platform and you have a mechanical structure and you connect electricity to it, and then you have a possibility to connect embedded software. And then you also have a possibility to connect solutions to that. That makes that that structure really complex, which means that you need to have something that keeps track of everything, so it matches together, and not just that the architectures need to align. You also need to keep track of laws and regulations, sustainability, customer needs, all the needs from inside the business also need to go into this. So that is the picture that I'm visioning the enterprise architecture, like keeping track of all the regulations that needs to fit together, requirements, and making that work.
Yeah, I think great question and great answer. I think the picture, or sometimes also speaking in metaphors, is something that really helps to understand, or for people to help to understand kind of like the complexity and what all is involved in enterprise architecture. Because you mentioned kind of like from regulations, but like so many parts and pieces that we as enterprise architects always look at to kind of like come to that holistic picture. And we always need to kind of like talk or communicate that very deep but also broad picture, and it's very difficult. So I always
it is complex for sure, but there is also I know there is different views on where enterprise architects should be involved, and so that is a really good question to just set the stage where I'm looking into this.
Great. The other thing, just if you do have more questions for the audience, just paste them or let us know them. The other thing is when we talk about enterprise architecture, Erika, I'm always kind of like think that it is the discipline in an organization that balances kind of like the long-term strategies and goals of an organization with kind of like the short-term project. I need to like do something right now here, and really kind of like bringing that into a balance and ensuring that like all these short-term things are not divergent to what you kind of like want to have like as a long-term strategy.
Yeah.
What is like, first, do you kind of like see it differently, or if you do so, what are kind of like some key aspects that you think EA delivers to balance the short and the long term?
Yeah, I think the way I really like to work is, we have a target architecture that puts out really long ahead in the future. I hard to find the words, but then to get there, we need to take these steps that actually takes us in that direction. You can't. Often you can't aim for that target immediately, but you have to do some maybe domain. You set the business in domains, for example, or you have to prepare the organization to do this, or so different steps. But one thing that I'm also really proud of that we are working with today is the technical debt. So when we do something, because sometimes you need to take decisions that don't go towards the target architecture because you have time or you have needs from something that is going in another direction, then you could put that solution immediately in the technical debt state or archive, so it will be reworked and prioritized when it's amongst everything else that we have to do. But yeah, that's one way of doing it.
Great. Love your insights, Erika, and I'm looking forward to have you at our Lean Leader Summit. I do not see a question coming in right now, but we're also coming to kind of like the end of today's session or LinkedIn Live here, because we want to take it short and concise and have it as a teaser for our Lean Leader Summit. But if you liked this recording, if I'm a big proponent of growing, learning, and with that we have most of those recordings from similar sessions like today's, also in our Lean 42 Academy. So have a look there, and also come to see Erika live on stage at the Lean Leader Summit.
Yes, that will be so much fun.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's Munich in the summer, so it's a great reason to come and travel to Munich if you are not living here already. I've had people that were actually coming to the conference and loved it and actually moved to Munich because of that.
Oh, I'm in trouble now.
So don't tell your boss that, but but it's definitely a good city and good place to be in. But Sweden is also wonderful, so nothing wrong about that. But thank you today. Thank you so much, Erika, for joining me today in today's session. And for everybody out there, if you do still have questions, paste them. We will then not answer them live, but in a chat message here on LinkedIn or whatever platform you watch this. And hope to see you all in July in Munich.
Yes.
Then thank
Definitely.
you, Erika. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.